quick thank you to our sponsors for making this podcast possible. They keep this show free to listen to. I'm excited to tell you all about FeatherSnap Scout Smart Bird Feeder, a great example of how technology can connect people with nature in really cool ways. I don't know if you know, but I'm from Oregon, and in our house, there are tons of birds. So this Wi-Fi-enabled smart feeder combines state-of-the-art camera and app tech with an age-old pursuit, birdwatching. The feeder includes a high-end camera that captures crisp 4-megapixel photos and 1080p video of your feathered visitors. Then use the FeatherSnap app expert-trained AI identification model to nail down the species and categories the birds you see. I cannot wait to get the bald eagle on this camera. Tech that truly helps you tune into the world around you. Check them out today at feathersnapcam.com. That's feathersnapcam.com. Hi, I'm Michelle, a mother of 2 teens. 13 years ago, I traded in punishments and rewards for connection. Now I prioritize relationship over behaviors, utilize play as a parenting tool, and set limits with empathy instead of consequences. Each week, I share my journey and interview clients, experts, and followers. Thanks for joining me on the Peace and Parenting podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the Peace and Parenting podcast. I'm Michelle, and I have a lovely Instagram follower who is coming with a question about parenting. Hi, Jade. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Jade. I live in a suburb of Chicago with my husband and my 2 kids and his 2 kids from a previous marriage. So we have a full house, and I'm in my gentle parenting, moment, trying to figure it all out. And my 9-year-old daughter is a Spitfire. She will tell me no, just straight out say no when I say, hey, it's time to go take a shower, or I need you to do your chores. And if she doesn't feel like it, she will just cross her arms and roll up into a little ball on the couch and just say, no. And I'm like, come on. We need to take a shower. Because I, in my mind, as the parent, I'm panicking. Like, what do I say when she just says no to me?
Yeah.
So we kind of get in that power struggle there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into it. I want to ask a few questions. When you say you're in your gentle parenting journey, are you using punishments or consequences, or kind of what's the lay of the land in your parenting?
Trying to use natural consequences. That would because I'm also a teacher. I'm a special education teacher. So a lot of what I use in the classroom, I'm trying to bring into my own house. So yeah, my husband and I are trying to use natural consequences as much as possible. But then you ask yourself, when they say no, what's the natural consequence?
Yeah, that's a good question. And also, just so we're clear, many people have different ideas about what natural consequences are. Mm-hmm. And so what's your take on natural consequences?
It's just kind of what naturally would happen. So if she's refusing to wear her coat when we need to go to the grocery store in the middle of December in Chicago,
right?
Okay, then don't wear your coat. You're going to be cold. That's your consequence.
Yeah. Okay, great. You have the right. Some people will be like, well, if you don't do that, then I'm going to take your phone away. And that's the natural consequence.
No.
Well, let's solve that. That's not quite right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So natural consequences are great. Oftentimes we can't see natural consequences. Oftentimes natural consequences don't happen as beautifully as the coat scenario, right? A natural consequence might be if you don't take your shower, you're going to be dirty. But that's not a natural consequence that many of us parents are willing to put up with. And so I think, adolescence starts at 8.
Oh, yeah.
So she's probably deeply into her adolescence.
Yeah.
And she's probably seeking and searching for autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe some of these things that you guys are struggling with can be things that we can start to give her onus over.
Okay.
So maybe I'll just start with the shower one. Like maybe it's now her choice to take a shower or not.
Okay. How long would I let that go?
Oh, it's a really good question. So I did this same thing when Pia was 10, and I wish I would have done it when she was probably 7 or 6. But I said to her, I had the same exact struggle you did. The kid who didn't want to take a shower and she was fighting me on it. I'll do it later, blah, blah, blah. And it was always, we ended up in a kerfuffle around it. So finally I just said, you know what? Guess what? Shower when you want. Why do I care if you shower? Why am I so concerned about your cleanliness? You're old enough, or maybe you should be old enough to realize when you're dirty. And maybe you're not old enough to realize when you're dirty because I put so many constraints on you.
Mm.
And perhaps I'm doing you a disservice by making you take the shower because you're not learning about how to take care of your own body.
Mm.
So we have to be willing to let them fail.
Yeah. And I'm learning to let go of some of that. So
So my Pia her hair was much like mine today, by the way. Her hair was like plastered to her face. She was going to school and then going to dance and then sleeping in her clean bed and then going to school and then going to dance. And that went on for about 10 days before she took a shower.
All right. So I got to stick it out.
Well, I think maybe it might behoove you to do that because if you don't fight about it, you're going to have a more strengthened relationship.
Yeah.
Plus, you're teaching her all these beautiful lessons about how she takes care of her own body. And it's her responsibility to take care of herself, not yours.
Yeah. And that's interesting because I was just telling my husband, I said, I think what's going on with her and her strong-willed little self is that she wants to be in charge more. And I was just telling him, I just don't know how to let her be in charge more. So this is perfect. It is. It is.
So there's probably other pieces. I know for us, it's homework, right? We want to make sure they do their homework. We want to be on top of them. But is that also doing them a disservice around being able to take on homework as their own responsibility? Because it's not ours.
Mm-hmm. But now let me ask you this. She has ADHD and is currently unmedicated and probably will be for a while. Do you still step out like with the homework stuff and let her kind of fail with it, even though executive functioning is something she really struggles with?
I think there's a way to have scaffolding and assistance without insistence, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to help guide her. Like when she comes home saying things like, hey, do you have homework today? Yeah, I have homework. Okay, when do you plan on doing it? I'm going to do it after dinner or whatever. And you can say, okay, do you want me to give you a reminder or you think you got it?
Okay.
And then when she doesn't do it, say, oh, it looks like you haven't done your homework yet. Are you going to be okay tomorrow not turning it in? Or is that something that's going to bother you? Questions, curiosity, guidance, not insistence and consequences and nagging and
that
whatever.
Takes and off of my shoulders.
Yeah, it's parenting so much easier. And then you know what? The other thing is she might fail a few times.
Yeah.
She might not go to school with her homework a few times, but maybe it's better she learned that lesson at 9 than 19.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Time for a short break to acknowledge our sponsors. Because of them, you're able to enjoy this podcast without paying a dime. Hey there, if you need a little help getting your kids the daily vitamins they need, I've got something to share that will help you as we all head back to school, and it fits easily into your morning routine. Between packing lunches, ensuring everyone's homework, and then navigating the morning hustle, getting our kids to take their vitamins can be a challenge. Well, let me introduce you to my new morning lifesaver, Little Critters Gummy Vitamins. Even my teenage daughters love them. Most kids think they're having a special treat, but I know they get the essential nutrients their growing bodies need. It's peace of mind for me and total yum for them, even if they don't admit it. Did you know Little Critters is the pediatrician recommended kids multivitamin gummy brand? It's true. And it's the perfect stress-free way to kick off the day. So why not make your mornings a little smoother? Shop Little Critters Gummy Vitamins now and start your school year off with a smile. Shop now at the link in the show notes. This episode is sponsored by ByHeart. ByHeart is on a mission to make the best infant formula in the world. They use a patented protein blend that gets closest to breast milk. It includes alpha-lac, the most abundant protein found in breast milk, and lactoferrin, the number one protein found in colostrum. ByHeart's easy-to-digest formula and patented protein blend includes prebiotics and an 80-20 whey-to-casein ratio, just like in early breast milk, which is tailor-made for a newborn's digestive system. ByHeart is made with certified, clean ingredients, plus it has no soy, corn syrup, GMOs, or palm oil. Curious about ByHeart? Redeem your welcome offer at byheart.com/podcast with code PEACE. It's available for a limited time, so don't miss out. That's byheart.com/podcast with code PEACE, because every baby deserves the best start. Are you a plant freak like me? Do you have them on every shelf and table? Do you talk to your plants as if they are your babies? I do. I'm obsessed with plants. That's why I started using Palm Street, the live online marketplace for plants of all types. It's a plant lover's dream. And what's more convenient than having our new little buddies shipped directly to our homes? I'm a certified plant lover. In fact, my girls think I love my plant buddies more than I love them sometimes. Plants are how homes feel alive and vibrant. Every home needs plants. That's why Palm Street is the Peace and Parenting podcast sponsor. Palm Street is the best live shopping app for the plant lover community. They sell rare plants, crystals, ceramics, and other unique goods. Looking to add a new plant to your home? Get the Palm Street app. New users get a $5 app credit, 10% off their order, up to $6 off shipping. So go to the show notes and check the direct link. Let's dive back in. What other requests are hard? I think you said chores in there.
Yeah, it seems to be anytime there's a transition from something that she's currently wanting to do, which is probably watching TV or relaxing on the couch or something like that, into something that she doesn't want to do, which is most everything I request.
Well, I understand that deeply.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it either. There's some, a couple things around cooperation that I think are important to note is that the better the connection is in the very moment, the better the cooperation is.
Yeah.
So when we see that kickback in, not wanting to do things, we can move to connection instead of continuing to ask them to do the thing over and over. So if she's on the couch and you're asking her to take the garbage out and she's watching TV, it's probably not the best time to be asking her to take the garbage out.
Yeah.
Really finding the best time to ask her, like, is it after you feeling really good and connected and she's in a good place and she's already up and about, and like really being mindful about when you're asking her, because you'll more likely get a yes when it's the right time.
Yeah.
Then if you really need her to do something and she's not doing it, can you use connection to help yourselves get there? Like, oh, little girls who don't want to take out the trash are going to get 100 kisses from their mom. They're going to get wrestled. That's it. I'm going to eat your little feet. Oh, they're so stinky. Can you get connected to her? And then can you move to ask her? And you don't want it to feel manipulative. And it only won't feel manipulative if you're actually living in a connected family. If you're using that ideology all the time, not just when you want to get something done. Are you using play? Are you using connection? And if you are, then it won't feel out of place.
Mm-hmm. All right.
What other requests are challenging?
I know, like yesterday we went clothes shopping for school and she wanted everything I picked out, of course, was no. She wanted nothing to do with what I wanted.
I love her. I love her. I love her.
And I asked her, I said, are you just saying no to the stuff that I say? She goes, well, it's just not my taste, Mom. So, but then leaving yesterday, she wanted to go to McDonald's and I had spent enough money. So we're going to eat lunch at home. And she probably cried about it for over an hour because she wanted McDonald's and there was absolutely nothing to eat at home, according to her. Yeah. So that was just kind of, I kind of let her have her way and cry it out for a minute, and told her it'll be okay and I can make her anything she wants. And then I just sat on the couch with her after a while and just kind of asked her what was going on. there's nothing to eat. Okay, well, let's find something together. Do you need a hug? And she like latched onto me like super hard.
Sweet
And yeah,
girl.
she really is. And that was something with the gentle parenting thing, like I've been trying to do. And I see stuff on your Instagram all the time that are really good tips, and something that I asked her, like, when you're in one of these like shutdown crying moods, what can I do to help you? And
Yeah.
she said, give me a hug.
Sweet love.
So yeah, so I've been doing that a lot more, and it really does work. So sometimes just asking them what they need is all you need to do.
Yeah. And also just the fact that she can tell you what she wants and doesn't want and isn't afraid to speak her mind to you is a huge testament to your relationship and that you and your emotional safety for her. So every time she says that sassy things that you don't want to hear, be grateful that she feels safe enough to tell them to you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I try and tell myself when she's being super sassy, is like, I'm a good parent. This
Yes,
is
you
because I'm
are.
a good parent.
That's right. This is because you're safe and it's all lovely. And guess what? She probably won't do that with anyone else. She'll only
Yeah.
do that with you.
Yeah.
Well, I think too, like sometimes kids will cry about, like maybe possibly, who knows, but she could have been crying about the McDonald's. And but probably maybe it wasn't about the McDonald's. Maybe it's the pressure of going back to school and the pressure of like, do I have the perfect outfit and am I going to fit in? And now I'm 9 and things are harder for me and I'm more worried about my appearance. And maybe it all came to this culmination. And all you had to say is no about anything. And it would have allowed her feelings to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And so you created all this empathy and connection and lovely bondedness when you were there with her. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's so lovely. I love how the kids like that. This is the common theme, right? I have 2 teenage daughters. There's nothing to eat in the house. And we have the same theme. Everything I pick out is like, oh my God, how could you? That is like,
Even with food.
yeah.
The things I suggested for lunch, we're like, no.
Yeah. So it's just I'm sorry. Esme says, it's disgusting. That's disgusting. I'm like, how is a turkey sandwich disgusting? Like, please stop. I'm not like, you ask like it's anchovies. Like, come on.
Right.
Sandwich. It's honestly, I would say to one other tiny piece of advice that might help you moving through is don't offer anything to anyone. The 9-year-old. I would not, I mean, I don't even offer anymore. I don't offer lunch options. I don't offer food options. I don't offer anything. I just leave it to them. Well, I'm sure you can figure it out. I know you're going to pick out the best clothes. I know you're going to pick out the best lunch. Like, you got this.
Yeah.
I don't need to be I don't need to try to help you do this because you can do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And they can.
And that is something she'd really like to hear from me.
Yeah. And I think that autonomy piece, it'll just, I think just saying that and giving her as much freedom as you possibly can around even bedtime. I think bedtime becomes that like hard rub place too at this age where kids really are pushing back on bedtime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that happens in your house or not.
It's kind of the opposite. She'll sometimes ask to go to bed because she's tired.
Perfect. We love those kind. That's my Esme. They go to bed at like 9 o'clock. Yeah. I love those.
Yep. She's been a good sleeper since day one.
Great. My Pia will be up till 4 a.m. I swear. They drive me crazy. It's like, I'm so tired. I'm like, oh, I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Anything else, Jade? It sounds like you're doing an incredible job over there with your sweet kids.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I think you're doing pretty good.
Thanks. I love following your page and get a lot of good tips. I'm constantly sending and sharing them with my husband. I'm sure he loves.
He's probably like, who is this crazy lady? Please stop sending it to him.
Because the gentle parenting was also something to get him on board with. And so we're there and everything's coming together. So.
Yay. I'm so glad. Well, thank you for joining us on this lovely podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us in Peace and Parenting Podcast. We'll see you soon.